welcome to Viveka Service Society's Nirman, a capacity building institution. So today we're going to do, the last session was about resume and curriculum vitae, and we've had a lot of questions, people asking us what is resume, what is the difference between resume and a curriculum, what is the best resume to be used for the freshers. Therefore, based on their responses, we're going to have another session which is going to cover about which resume is best for the freshers and what are the differences between the same CV and the resume and what should you do, what all should you be including, and we are also going to include one freshers resume and also 3 of the resumes which are experienced people sample resumes. These are taken from internet, therefore they're going to have the names of anonymous people. Please to cooperate with us. So let's go forward with today's session. So which is the best resume do you think is for freshers? Which resume should you be using? So in that sense, when a fresher starts a resume, which means that you do not have work experience, or you have a lot of practical skills but you do not have all of those skills already gained through experience, but you have them through the college experience. So what do? You use functional resume which can reflect on the skills that you have, and also you use reverse chronological resume, because these are the finest forms of resume for the people who are freshers, who are starting off with their budding off with their jobs. Therefore, also it is because they're adaptable to whatever sort of experience you have. Depending on the headlines, you can change the experience that you've had or the skill set that you had. Therefore, these two are the best type of resumes for you to start off with. Then you have to create series of sections on your CV and therefore categorize them as the skill sets. Instead of making a section for each job, make sure that you make one whole section for each of the talent that you provide. Yeah. Then how do you create a resume for a job? If suppose you are applying to a certain job and you want to create a resume for that particular job, how do you do that? The first thing you do is first select the format of the resume you want to give. And if suppose you want the recruiter to be noticing the skills that you have, then you choose the one that reflects the skills that you have in the resume. Or if you want them to look at the experience you've had, then you choose something like reverse chronological. Or if you want people to understand that if you are 20 to 30-year-old experienced personnel, then what you do, you choose a curriculum vitae instead of a resume. We're going to look at the difference between curriculum vitae and resume in the next slide. So once you decide on the format of the resume that you want to present it in, second thing is you fill the contact and the personal information. Then you begin any resume that you're writing, it starts with the statement of purpose. So why you're applying for a certain job, what is the need for you to apply for the job, what are the skill sets or what are the talents that you have which you're gonna provide in that particular job scenario or the company scenario. So resume summary, your resume objective. So when you say objective or when you say about me or statement of purpose, all of these can be the first section right after your contact information that you fill in. Then you have to include the relevant work experience. If not, the key accomplishments if you're a college student, depending on what were your accomplishments. If suppose you are a BA student but also you were honored in honors, BA honors, then you have to write about the accomplishment you've had. If suppose you were awarded a scholarship, then you write about the scholarship you were awarded in that particular degree course. Then you have to list the education that you've had. Please do not mention that you've passed 10th class or 12th class, but start from the degree or the diploma you've had. If suppose you have only one educational qualification, that is a degree, let's say bachelor's in something, in technology, or bachelor's in economics, or bachelor's in arts, bachelor's in sciences, please do start your resume with that instead of starting it with the 10th class or the 12th class. And therefore once you start with the bachelor's, then you go to your post graduation, and in between if you include the work experience that you have. And once you fill your educational details, then you fill up the blanks with the skills that are relevant to the job posting. Suppose you have managerial skills, you have time management skills, you have technical skills, you know Java, you know Python, you know Oracle, then what is the purpose if you're applying for a management job? What is the purpose of putting the skills of Python and Java in that set? So you have to make sure that you put the skills that are relevant to the job experience, that job that you're going to apply to. So how do you make sure that you first pick up the job description, You read it, and therefore you understand what are the skills they are looking for, and depending on the matching that you have in your resume, what skills you have, and the set of the skills that they're looking for, then you match them together and you write those skills that are relevant to the particular job. That's how you make sure that your resume reflects what the recruiter is looking for, instead of making a very generic resume that everyone does. Then, what is the difference between CV and resume? A lot of people do have these doubts. So firstly, when you say CV, which is a curriculum vitae, it is a very comprehensive or a long history, and it is normally used by people who have like 20 to 30 years of experience in the industry, or at least 7 to 8 years experience of industry, because they have a lot of length to write about their experience, the history they've had in the industry, the jobs they've shifted, the number of companies they've worked with, in between if they've done any executive programs that are supposedly that are supposedly going to give them an appraisal in their job scenario. So all of these will be included in the curriculum vitae. Then academic credentials are also included in that, like I've said, the executive programs or accelerated programs, all of these programs will also be added to the curriculum vitae, and therefore the length of the document varies. CV will be comparatively longer than the resume, but when we speak of the resume, it offers you very clear picture of the abilities you have. It is not more than one page generally, unless you are someone who has very long history of experience, or probably you've had too many degrees. If not for these two cases, you normally have a one-page resume, and that should be sufficient for any starting recruiter. So it offers a clear picture of the credentials that you have, abilities that you have, the position you are applying for. Therefore, length is often shorter and is also normally governed by the number of years of experience you have had. Curriculum vitae are longer and resumes are shorter. Curriculum vitae is also more descriptive, while resumes are crisp. Curriculum vitae are normally for people who have longer experience in the industry, and resumes the people who have comparatively lesser experience, or the freshers who start off right then. So then, when you speak about ending a resume, so if suppose people normally end the resume with contact information or stuff like that, so we give you an innovative option. How do you normally end a resume? You probably thank the person or the recruiter or anyone who's reading your resume, so that they feel pleasant and pleased about reading your resume. You probably write, thank you for taking time to go over my resume. I'm certain that I can provide value to your business, and would welcome the opportunity to explore how my expertise and abilities might help your firm develop or succeed. Therefore, thank you for taking the time to go over my application. That's how you write the ending of a resume, so that you stand out from the crowd, so that you show that you have something different to offer to the company, and also the fact that you appreciate the effort of the recruiter. Normally, it is very common that people don't even appreciate the fact that recruiter, if comes to your college, and if you have 2 to 3,000 people in the college, imagine a set of people going through all of those resumes. It is really a headache to go through so many resumes in order to choose probably 2 to 3 people, or maybe out of 200 or 300 people, if they have to choose 10 people also, it is still very long process. So when you write something pleasant like this, the person would feel more appealing to be looking at your resume rather than anyone else's. So as we've seen this, now we're going to look at the samples that we have. So I have taken all these samples from internet so that I can give you an idea about what they are, and this also clearly covers both the skill set resumes. I've picked one of the resume which is for the freshers. So let us start. So if you are, as it is available on the screen for you to look, so this is a resume of a person who is just graduating right out of his college, and probably has no experience at all, but he has certain skills to show off, and therefore he has written it in this certain way. So this person, and then comes the contact information, and then, like I've told you, the resume, after the contact information, the first thing that you produce is statement of purpose, why you're applying for certain job. The fact that this person is applying for a network engineering job, therefore you will see that the person's skills are very relevant to the network engineering job. You see that he's highly skilled IT professional, both in domestic and international environments. He has ability to manage complete projects under pressure and meet deadlines on time. So successful in implementing applications and new systems. What does people with the network engineering do? They probably want someone who has very good expertise with the computers and ITs, because networking as such work in the same environment. and in the end he gives like good communication skills, committed to good quality work, and have good relationship with the customers as well as clients and all of that. This is irrespective of your technical skills. You need to have managerial skills. That's why soft skills are very important. Imagine you're a very good coder or you're a very good IT professional, but the fact that you're terrible with your clients, or you probably have very bad temper with your clients, then the company is eventually going to lose its business, and therefore would not prefer having someone with bad temper to be as their employee, but would choose someone with a better soft skill. Therefore, and then you give your educational background right after the statement of purpose you've given. In the educational background, you include the colleges. As you see, as I've told you already, do not include 10th class or 12th class or what you've passed. Please do start your resume with the diploma you've had, or probably the first graduate education you had, or first bachelor's that you've had. And therefore from there progress to the masters or the diplomas or the executive educations or the accelerated courses that you have done, or if not for any certification courses that you have done, even that comes under the educational background. Include those things. And then comes the internship details. As you do not have a professional experience, so internship experience could be considered as your professional experience. Therefore, you include your internship, and then the last thing that you give out is about the voluntary work that you have done. Suppose you work with an NGO, or suppose you've gone out teaching people, things like Teach for India, or suppose you worked with the CRY organization or any of the NGO, or probably you worked with the organizations that are in and around in your college, or maybe in your college, maybe your college has a particular social welfare group where people go out and help kids who are around, or help managing any health camps. Any of this volunteer work that you have done, both inside the college or outside the college, could be counted under the volunteer work that you have done. Therefore, as you see the format, this is what is about the resume we were talking about, which emphasizes on the skills that you have, because in the objective he has given skills. And also if you look at the left side of the resume, he has given the certificate courses that he has done. Instead of putting them under the educational background, just to make it look as if it is something popping out, he has written as if it is like the certificates that he has done. He has a Red Hat certificate and a network engineering certificate. And also then if you look at the skills, all these skills are soft skills. Critical thinking is a soft skill, negotiating is a soft skill, active listening is a soft skill. All of these are nothing but communication skills a person has. How do you build confidence? By communicating more often. And being confident is also part of a communication skill. And then being organized, and then having active listening skills. All of these include mostly interpersonal and communication skills, which has included in the set of skills that he has given. And then when it comes to proficiency in coding languages, is given CPP, Java and HTML. If suppose you're applying to certain job that this person is applying to, then you probably have to include something which is similar to this, where the relevant skills that you have, relevant coding skills, relevant communication skills, are in line with the job description that the recruiter has put up. Suppose a job fair is going on in the college, so what you make sure is that you look at the resume, you look at your resume, and you also look at the job description that the recruiter has sent you, and you match the skills that you have and the skills that they are there in the job description. Therefore your resume would be the first one to be picked. So when you're sending out resume, it should be very clear in your head that your face is not seen, your listening skills are not seen, your communication skills are not seen. All that is seen is your writing skill. All that is seen is you telling that you have particular skills, and once they look at your resume, then they're going to check the skills if they actually exist with you or not. So your face is first your resume, and then comes your actual face in front of recruiters. So when you put up your resume, put most of your effort to make sure that it should look as if you try to elevate the elements that you are good with in your resume. So now let us look at just one resume which speaks about the person with experience. So this is also a resume that I have taken online. So this is someone called Nicola Belgin. So look at the type of objective the person has written, and this person is experienced, and it is very clearly visible in his resume, because the way he has written resume itself says that he is an experienced person. So detail-oriented, knowledgeable engineering technologist with strong attention to accuracy and 3+ years of extensive experience in developing new mechanical systems and completing detailed blueprints and technical manuals. So in one single sentence, he has explained what he has done 3 particular years, and this also gives a very clear and crisp information. This is what is resume about and not curriculum vitae about. Then he is where he has studied the graduate, because he has a branded graduate studies. If suppose you are from IIT, suppose you are from NIT, in the Indian scenario, it is very similar to someone who is coming out of MIT in an American scenario. And a well developed technological expertise and extraordinary time management skills. Now he is speaking about the non technical skills that he has, and also offers professional attitude and then important working ability to work in certain environments, team environments. And then comes personal information, where he includes his phone number, email address, and all of that. Now comes the work experience. If you see, his education set and the work experience is almost similar, because as you see, his graduate studies till his master's studies has gone, almost the same amount of time has gone in that, as in comparison to the amount of time he has spent with work experience. Therefore, from 2016 till 18, if he was working, from 2010 till 2016 he was studying. Therefore, there's almost 6 years here and there's almost 4 years there. So, if you look at the resume is pointed in such a way that work experience is also elevated and also his education is elevated, because he's trying to put out a brand that is there with him, and therefore he's branding his own college in his resume also. So you see all the work experience, you see all the elements that he has written with the work experience, what he has done, what he has performed, and then comes the education. And in the end, he has two, one is the languages that he knows, and the skills in the end, as he has already given non-technical skills in the objective itself, now he is giving the skills that he has in technical background. So this is the way you elevate your resume as you're a work experienced personnel. And we have a couple of resumes also, but we'll skip looking at them, because I just wanted to give you a brief about how to take up the resume. One, we have seen about the person who has no experience at all, who has come out of his engineering, and we've also seen the resume of a person who has pretty good experience, who has come out of who has come out of his experienced scenario. So this is the end of these sessions for us. If you have any doubts, if you want to enroll for anything, if you want your resume to be checked, if you want your resume to be reviewed by our team, or if you're not confident to write your resume, and if you want to have a call and then start taking up with your resume because the placements times are coming up, you can contact us, enroll yourself in the link that is given in the description, and we shall contact you based on the enrollment that you have done with us. Thank you for being with us. It had been a pleasure to be teaching you. See you.